Welcome back. This is the second of the 4 EXPs retrieved this weekend. All from the same gentleman. Extremely nice guy. Got these as parts cars for one of his cars. But doesn't need these anymore, so off they go to me. But this one is a 1984 EXP, of course. Now, don't be fooled by the paint job and the spoiler. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, it's got a black bottom. It's got a spoiler. It's an 84. It's a turbo. No, sorry, folks. You'd be mistaken. Just a plain 84 EXP. I'd have to pop open a brochure and, excuse me, and dig through the options list to see what kind of trim this was. But this was just a plain 84 EXP. Might have been a luxury coupe with a nice tan cloth interior, but for all I know, could be a sport coupe. I'm really not good at this 84 up stuff, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Now that we're actually acquiring some, we can get much better at that. Up until now, the overwhelming majority of EXPs that I have are 82s and 83s, but specifically 82s. They made those the most. They made the most of those. There's a crazy amount of them, but not too many 84s on up for me. This is only my second 84. But anywho, yeah, tan cloth interior. It's an 84, so it has the round steering wheel and then the rubberized shift boot. It also has the new round dash and speakers in the door because the dashboard no longer houses speakers for 84 on up. In the back, I believe this is the car where it didn't have rear speakers. I think I see the slots for them. This guy might have had rear speakers. I like the hatch. It's pretty heavy because, one, it's a bubble back, but two, it's got the wing. The wing itself is 20-30 pounds. All the extra glass equates to another 20-ish, 25 maybe. But the car is painted maroon right now. Originally, it still has its door jamb sticker, and that says what it was. It says 1C. So this guy should have been all black. So I'm presuming they just masked off the top. Well, probably wouldn't even have to do that. You just shoot the lower as a fresh coat of black, or leave it, and then you just mask off that and shoot whatever color you want above it. In this case, they had got maroon. This guy has the fancy 13-inch wheels. Well, I say fancy because if you had an 82 or 83, these would be up the tier list. Normally you get these, but for 84, I think you had Escort rims or you had these. Escort rims in question. Those plain basic dudes. Oh, zoomed out way too far. Switched to a different lens. Front end, no chin spoiler because, again, it's not a turbo car. As far as options go, this guy's got a bunch. We do have dual mirrors, no sunroof. We do have 5-speed, and if I'll pop open the hood and show you, we do have the 1.6 high output. Right now it's currently rocking a Sony dual dial head unit for the radio. I'll look around up inside. We do have a clock overhead. And of course someone adorned it with a wing, which is pretty cool. I think it's a stock one. Well, this car didn't come stock with it, but it's a Ford turbo wing, or a wing that you'd find on any of the 86 plus EXPs. But yeah, here we go. This is the 1.6 high output. For 84, they have this unique snorkel. and they've seen 85s like it, but this is a very common escort thing. Where they grab air from that bottom corner for 84 and some 85s, and it just comes across. Instead of EXPs of old, there'd be a snorkel right here, comes up and through the intake system. The sticker is trying to disappear, but it was there. It said 1.6 high output CVH. And when we look underneath the car, yep, there's a set of headers, and then down below you'll see that they are long tube headers. Unlike 83, these 84 ones, they go the full length. Going at the hood again. For reasons unknown, this has the tiny radiator. Normally the radiator would take up this entire shroud, and you can see they have this plastic blocking off a bunch of it. But 83 and 84 high outputs, and it seems to be only the high outputs, very commonly have this very small radiator. It's only about 3/5 the size of the normal one. We haven't been able to figure out why some are like this, and we haven't been able to figure out any kind of pattern again as to just why. All other years and models don't have this. Just the 83s and now the 84s. And specifically when there's a high output engine involved. Look in the back corner, this guy has manual steering. No AC. So, all in all, this one's actually kind of down on the options list. I haven't checked out the seats too much, but nothing really crazy out of the ordinary. I believe these are just a standard scooch back and forth and then manual tilt seats. But the cloth pattern was pretty neat. And I bet they're real comfy and cozy. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. As far as its potential and its future, this guy's pretty shot. The rear torque boxes, this one had failed before we picked it up. So right now this wheel is actually in its natural resting position, but if I were to move it forward or backwards a foot, you'll see it rock pretty dang bad. And then on this other side, same story, but not as bad. It had broke right after we had first moved it onto the trailer. It just gave up, and so this one's probably mostly parts fodder. I haven't bothered digging into the interior too much. Like looking around the carpet is what I would normally look for. We'd see holes. I'll show you here. Crap, it's too dark to see. But holes to the outside air, those indicate some severe problems, as you can imagine. And who knows what's going on with the strut towers inside. We'll figure that out. But the deck lid is pretty rough. The spoiler itself is pretty rough. So my plan is to pull this guy apart. We'll get that carpet out of there. We'll put the seats into safekeeping, but clean them first. We'll try to restore them and preserve them just as they sit. Same with anything else inside the interior that we can. Last driven in 2004, but here in Wisconsin, it's pretty neat. But I got a feeling that the hatch might be a lost cause. And sadly, that's just how it goes with the bubble backs, specifically ones that have wings. The spoiler will be removed pretty promptly, I imagine. We'll probably take care of that sometime this winter. We'll get that thing off. And then I plan on doing a restoration series for these. No one's done it yet, but my plan has been to bisect this with a knife right around the edge, which is where they tend to split the most. Just slice it all the way along that edge. Do the same on backside maybe. Because what happens is on the inside there's a steel skeleton that goes like this. It gets bigger here. Goes all the way across, and it's got legs under each one of these spots. for it to mount to and bolt to, of course. But what happens is over time that steel begins to rust. When it rusts, it expands. When it expands, it blows the spoiler open. So my goal is to start bisecting these, remove all that metal, because that metal is what makes it heavy. I kid you not, these are freaking 20, 30 pounds. And then replace that steel with something like aluminum, fiberglass maybe. Something of that nature. So it retains its rigidity. And steel is the whole reason why it doesn't go blah, blah, blah between each of these supports. You need some sort of structural integrity there, but we can use something else. And then with that, we put it back together, glue that seam, seal that seam, and then from there we go and we sand down the wing until it's got a uniform texture. And then at that point we decide whether we want to paint it or kind of just shine it up the best we can as it sits. There's a few options with that. Some of these get real bad sun damage, but so far most of mine have all been pretty decent, where it just feels like 120 grit sandpaper. But some of them corrode, more like these Frog Eye bumpers. They get pretty gnarly. The sun chews right through the material. So we'll do that. It'll mean it'll never rust again, and it'll be a heck of a lot lighter. So I see that as all aces, you know, but so that's the plan with this guy. Keep an eye out as videos go. We might be tearing into this somewhat soon, kind of far in the future. We'll see. If you heard right, you heard that I got 4 of these in total, and this one's only number 2. So we got 2 more. The good news, though, is we're at a new property with all the other cars. And we'll be able to get most of the stuff inside. That's the good news. We can actually start saving these instead of just simply collecting them. But you know, that's how it's going so far. I get a lot of schmack for just taking all these scuzzy things out of people's hands, but no, trust me, we're slowly making them nice. If I didn't buy a house this year, they'd all be nice, you know. But that's just how it goes. A little work on the front end will give me a lot of free time on the back end. But yeah, that's our 84, guys. We'll catch you later, and stay tuned for more cars.